Hey y'all, this is the Variety Kid, and the Galaxy Note 10 and Note 10 Plus were announced recently, and actually actually the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, at least for now, is my favorite phone. Which I do kind of have. I don't know. I mean, it seems, for whatever reason, I have a feeling that it won't beat the iPhone, or that the iPhone XS Max won't be better, or the iPhone 11 Max won't be better than it. Or the upcoming iPhone 11 Max, which would be a bit surprising because, like, I really like iPhones, and whenever they come out, they, in my opinion, they always become my favorite phone, at least until other Android companies release really good Android phones. But anyways, let's talk about the Galaxy Note 10 and which of the rumors I listed came true. Okay, so alright, so 4 models. So there were rumored to be four models, two LTE, one for the Note 10, one for the Note 10 Plus, and 2 5G, one for the Note 10 and one for the Note 10 Plus. This was partially true. So in all countries where the Note 10 Plus is sold, there's a 5G version, whereas only South Korea has a 5G version for the smaller Galaxy Note 10. So some countries don't have an LTE version for the Note 10, only a 5G version. Like China, at least, has all Note 10 models, which there's only one Note 10 model, I'll get to that later, has an LTE version, while all the Note 10 Plus models are 5G. Okay. Upgraded processor. This was also partially true. There was rumored to be a Snapdragon 855 Plus in the Snapdragon regions, which included the US and China. Actually, there weren't as many Snapdragon regions with the Note 10 as there were with the S10e, S10, and S10 Plus, and an Exynos 9825 instead of the Exynos 9820. Only the Exynos region countries got the Exynos 9825, while the Snapdragon regions only got the Snapdragon 855 and not the Snapdragon 855 Plus. Which actually, this is a good thing, since some tests, including by Technology Channel Phone Buff, which I really watch a lot, and I've mentioned them before. They did a speed and battery test on the S10 Snapdragon and Exynos variant, and in both cases the S10 won. Not necessarily by a huge margin, but I'd say a moderate, fair, decent margin. And also with the Note 10, both have 7 nanometer, which lower nanometers is better. 7 nanometer, and instead of an 8 for the Exynos and 7 for the Snapdragon. 40-watt, 5-watt fast charging on the Note 10 Plus. This rumor came true. I said in the rumored features video that I wasn't sure if it would be sold separately, and it was sold separately. There's 25-watt fast charging that comes in the box, which is the fast charging that on the S10 5G, and the smaller Note 10 comes with 25-watt fast charging in and out of the box. And actually, I'm gonna give a bit of a positive review here. I just received a text message, but Samsung only charges $50 for a 45-watt fast charger, while Apple charges a total of $68 for the plug-in Lightning to USB-C connector for a 30-watt fast charger. So you get a faster fast charger for less money. 20-watt wireless charging. This was partially true. It really depends on the region. From my understanding, in the US, both the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus have 15-watt fast charging. I know that in Australia, at least the smaller Note 10 only has 15-watt fast charging. And actually, I mean, some common results would be 12-watt wireless charging for the smaller Note 10 and 15-watt wireless charging for the Note 10 Plus. Which 12 watts is the wireless charging that was found on the S10e, S10, and S10 5G. or S10 Plus, so the 3 cheaper S10 variants, while 15-watt wireless charging was the one found on the S10 5G. And in some countries, it's 15 watts for the Note 10 and 20 watts for the Note 10 Plus. So it's it's basically the same thing for fast charging. The smaller Note 10 has the same fast charging as the better S10 model or the S10 5G, and the and the Note 10 Plus has the more upgraded charging of the has the more upgrading charger over all of the S series and smaller Note 10, if you know what I mean, which hopefully you do. LED notification light. No, this one was not true. I mean, actually, I kind of expected it not to be true. I mean, it seemed because, like, it just made sense that there wasn't enough room for it. I mean, also on GSMArena.com before the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus was announced, it was also rumored that they would return the iris scanner, which the S10 series lacked. But that, but actually, unfortunately, I mean, you know, it's not too unfortunate, but however, neither of those two things happened. Next is no Bixby button. Yes, this was true. Samsung removed the Bixby button. Next is a smaller hole punch notch. And yes, there was a smaller hole punch notch. I didn't mention this because I feel like I feel like it wasn't true. I feel like this wasn't accurate enough to be included in my rumors. But there's actually smaller bezels on the Galaxy Note 10 and Note 10 Plus. 256, 512, and 1 terabyte storage models. No, this was not true. The Note 10 comes in only 256 gigabytes. Sorry, the Note 10 only comes in 256 gigabytes, while the Note 10 Plus comes in 256 gigabytes or 512 gigabytes. I mean, from my understanding, it's the African countries that don't get the 512 gigabyte model, and actually the RAM rumors were true. The Note 10 had 8 gigabytes, while the Note 10 Plus had 12 gigabytes, or mostly true. My understanding, the Middle Eastern countries only had 8 gigabytes of RAM on the 256 gigabyte version of the Note 10 Plus. While actually, while since there was no 512 gigabyte version pretty much in most of Africa, from my understanding, I know at least some African countries don't have the 512 model, but while there was no 512 model in most of Africa, the standard version came with 12 gigabytes of RAM, unlike the Middle East. Which does have an advantage because it had the 512 gigabyte storage option. Oh yeah, and there were also some other things I wanted to mention. In Australia, the Note 10 Plus LTE came with only 256, while the Note 10 Plus 5G only came with 512. And in the UK, the Note 10 Plus LTE did not have a 512 gigabyte version. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to find it. Oh, here it is. That took longer than expected. But, UFS 3.0, yes, this did happen. They have faster storage speeds. I know this will somehow make your phone launch, I think, apps faster. I'm not really sure how. And storage having a speed doesn't really make sense to me, but I know that, that UFS 3.0 is faster than UFS 2.1. Okay. Next is 6.2 inch to 6.3 inch for the Note 10, and 6.7 inch to 6.8 inch for the Note 10 Plus. Yes, this one was true. The Note 10 came with a 6.3 inch, and the Note 10 Plus came with a 6.8 inch. Next is 1080p Note 10 and 1440p Note 10 Plus. Yes, this was true. It was a bit surprising, but the smaller Note 10 came in a 1080p screen, even though its Galaxy S counterpart, the Galaxy S10, came with a 1440p screen. Battery sizes: 3,500 to 4,000 for the Note 10, and 4,300 to 4,500 for the Note 10 Plus. Yes, this one was true. Actually, coincidentally, it was the minimum for both of them. I mean, I was actually gonna say that, so the Note 10 Plus does have a smaller battery than the, S10 5G, and could possibly have worse battery life than the Galaxy S10 Plus, and the Note 10 having worse battery life than the S10, due to the fact that that their bigger screen outweighs their bigger battery. Anyways, actually, with the Galaxy Note 7, there was only a 3,500 milliamp hour battery compared to a 3,600 milliamp hour battery on the S7 Edge, and a 3,200 milliamp battery on the limited edition Note FE, which came out 11 months after the Note 7 did, and was basically a non-explosive Note FE with like Bixby and a few other stuff. And the Note 8 only came with a 3,300 compared to a 3,500. And the reason for that was because because there's a stylus in the phone which takes up room, and they only have so much room for the battery, which means that they can't make a bigger battery than the biggest phone of the S model. Actually, despite that fact, that did surprise me a bit, because the Note 9 did have a larger battery than the S9 Plus, despite having a stylus. 3 cameras for the Note 10 and 4 cameras for the Note 10 Plus. This was partially true. The camera range, there were 3 for the Note 10 and 4 for the Note 10 Plus. And I didn't mention this in the video, but they were rumored to have the same camera's megapixels and apertures as the lenses on the Galaxy S phones. But however, the telephoto lens had an f2.4 or an f2.1 aperture, which I do find a bit unusual. I've never heard of a phone that had an f2.1 aperture on one of its lenses, but it's nice that it's an upgrade over the f2.4 aperture. And next is one camera lens, or one front-facing camera lens, and yes, this one did come true on both of the Note models. No headphone jack, yes, this was true. No micro SD card slot for the smaller Note 10. Yes, this was true, and the Note 10 Plus did have a micro SD card slot like rumored. And in-display fingerprint scanner for both. Yes, this one was true. No, I don't really know if you can say these rumors were more accurate than the S10 rumors. I'd definitely say they were more accurate than the iPhone rumors. 10 of them were true. 4 of them were partially true, and 2 of them were not true. And by the way, I count storage configurations and RAM configurations as separate features, and I count rear camera configurations and front camera configurations as the same feature. But last time with the Galaxy S10, none of them were false. But however, this time we have a much higher percentage of features that were fully true. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like if you did, and have a nice day. Bye.